Hello everyone, good afternoon. Today's topic is electrodiagnosis. In last class we had discussed the effects of magnetic current and effects of galvanic current, right? So what is motor point? What is motor point? A motor unit consists of the nerve cell, the nerve fiber and its terminal branches, the neuromuscular junction and the muscle fibers and their constituent myofibrils is the final pathway through which the nervous activity gives rise to voluntary movement, right? So basically, a motor unit consists of a nerve cell, a nerve fiber, and with its terminal branches, right? And the neuromuscular junction and the muscle fibers, right? Means the nerves, the neuromuscular junction, and the muscle, right? There is a point that is a neuromuscular junction where the nerve inserts in the muscle, right? To which the impulses comes from higher center to the muscle, right? So when we stimulate the nerves, the impulses goes through the neuromuscular junction to the muscle, and the muscle will contract, right? So the function of electrodiagnosis by different methods and SD curve plotting in physiotherapy is to study the integrity of different portions of motor unit, right? The function of nerve and the muscle is inaccessible from the surface. Thus, their function can be studied only by recognizing the appropriate clinical signs and the data obtained after the result of an electrodiagnostic test. So important thing is SD curve, that is strength duration curve, right? So by this SD curve, we can study the integrity of the different portions of motor units, right? So the muscle is innervated or denervated or partially innervated or partially denervated. We can check by SD curve plotting, right? So by this SD curve plotting, we can study the integrity of the motor unit. Here, first thing we have to understand what is motor unit. Second thing is what is the importance of SD curve in physiotherapy, right? So the function of nerve and muscle is inaccessible from the surface. So thus their function can be studied only by recognizing the appropriate clinical signs and the data obtained after the result of electrodiagnostic test, right? So there is a relationship between the nerve, the muscular junction, muscle, right? So in electrodiagnosis, that is concerned with the study of electrical activity in the motor units when stimulated by the electrical pulses. बेसिकली इलेक्ट्रोडायग्नोसिस क्या है? इट इज कंसर्न विद स्टडी ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिकल एक्टिविटी इन द मोटर यूनिट्स. ये मोटर यूनिट्स का रिस्पॉन्स कैसा है when we stimulate the nerves, right? That comes in electrodiagnosis. Here, so electrodiagnosis is concerned with the study of electrical activity in the motor units when it is stimulated by the electrical pulses, right? We can use cardiac stimulation or we can use galvanic stimulation. So it also considers the normal and abnormal behavior of the response of a motor unit when stimulated and of the interpretation of its results for diagnosis and prognosis and disorders of the neuromuscular complex of the locomotor system. Right? So normal and abnormal behavior of the response of a motor unit when it is stimulated and of the interpretation of its results for diagnosis and prognosis. Prognosis means the rate of recovery, and the diagnosis means when we try to find out the condition, right? The diagnosis is very important. First, we diagnose the condition, right? And the prognosis is the rate of recovery, right? So by plotting SD curve or NCVT, we can check the prognosis of the conditions. Clear? Next is the neuromuscular function disorders. There are a few terms we have to understand this. Like first one is neuromuscular function disorders. Means reduction of voluntary muscle contraction due to faulty conduction at the neuromuscular junction. Right? So reduction of voluntary muscle contraction due to faulty conduction at the neuromuscular junction. It means if there is any problem at the level of neuromuscular junction, the impulses are not going properly, right, to the distal part of the nerves. So what will happen? The voluntary muscle contraction will be reduced, right? This comes in neuromuscular function disorders. Clear? Next term is muscle lesion. What is this? Muscle lesion. So muscle weakness or disease, but there is no motor nerve degeneration. So the reaction to electrical stimulation are of normal type but reduced in strength. That is muscle lesion. Means there will be reduced muscle strength, but there is no motor nerve degeneration. Right? Muscles becomes weak, but there is no motor degeneration, and the reaction to the electrical stimulation are of normal type. Means they respond normally, but in a reduced in strength, right? So this is known as muscle lesion. Muscle lesion means जहाँ पर आपकी जो muscles हैं वो weak हो जाएंगे, but there will be no motor nerve degeneration. वहाँ पर muscles का जो anatomical structure है that will be preserved, right? कोई degeneration नहीं होगी. And when we stimulate the muscle by the electrical stimulation, that will respond normally, but that will be reduced in strength. Strength में उसकी कमी होगी. Means contraction उतना perfect नहीं होगा. Contraction होगा, but that will be reduced in strength. Right? So this is muscle lesion. Next thing is functional disorder. What is functional disorder? Loss of voluntary power may be due to hysterical paralysis. It means कि जो muscle की power है, voluntary power, that will be reduced, right? Or that will be lost due to paralysis. That comes in functional disorders. Is because of lack of power, patient cannot perform the activities. This comes in functional disorder. Next important term is neuropraxia. All these are important terms related to the electrodiagnosis. Right? First, we should understand all these points. What is neuropraxia? Neuropraxia is a first degree of nerve injury, the physiological interruption of nerve conductivity due to pressure or ischemia. And the recovery is generally expected, right? And the 100% recovery can be possible. So if there is a physiological interruption of the nerve conductivity, cause may be pressure, or cause may be ischemia, right? So because of that, muscle will not work properly. So when we remove the cause, the muscle will work, right? So 100% recovery is possible in case of neuropraxia. There is no anatomical changes in the structures. Next one is axonal masses. Axonal masses is second degree nerve injury. In this, degeneration of axon will take place. The sheath of the nerve remains intact. For example, the radial nerve damage at the level of shaft of humerus fracture. Right? In this, recovery is possible, but there is uncertainty. We don't know how much the patient will recover or the nerve will recover. That condition is called axonal masses. Right? Next one is neural masses. This is third degree of nerve injury. Neural masses. Discontinuity of the whole nerve following complete section. There is no stimulation response. Fibers degenerate below the site of lesion. Right? So in this, there will be no stimulation and fibers will be degenerated below the level of lesion. जहाँ पर injury है, जहाँ पर cut है, जहाँ पर lesion है, and the lesion will be complete, right? तो उसके नीचे जो भी होगा, वहाँ पर muscle fibers degenerate होंगे, and there will be no response of stimulation. आप स्टिमुलेट करेंगे नर्व्स को तो वहाँ पर उसके नीचे below the level of lesion, right? You will not get any response. Clear? So one is neuropraxia, first degree nerve injury, axonal masses, second degree nerve injury, and neural masses, third degree nerve injury. So in third degree nerve injury without masses, the surgical intervention is required. Right? Nerve grafting, nerve suturing, all these. Next term is upper motor neuron lesion. So no change in LMN, that is lower motor neuron or muscle, although sometimes the nerve and the muscle are hyperexcitable and react to a lower intensity of current than that normally required. That comes in upper motor neuron type of lesions. Right? If lesion occurs in a higher center, that is upper motor neuron type of lesion. A common example is stroke, and the lesion occurs in the brain. Right? The stroke is an example of upper motor neuron type of lesion. Here, now we discuss physiological basis of electrodiagnosis. So the physiological basis of electrodiagnosis is the mechanism underlying normal electrical activity of the muscle and the nerve when stimulated by the electrical impulses. Right? So when we stimulate the muscle and the nerve by the electrical impulses, we can check the physiological response of the muscle and the nerves. And all these comes in electrodiagnosis. Right? Next point is stimulation of nerve fibers. So in the resting state, a neuron is charged cell not conducting a nerve impulse. Right? And the difference in electrical potential of 90 millivolt between the tissue fluid outside and the intercellular fluid inside, the neuron maintains the dynamic equilibrium of the resting neuron and underlies the generation and the propagation of the nerve impulse and impulse between 0.02 millisecond and 1 millisecond is sent to the nerve. Right? So it will be sufficiently long to stimulate the nerve and cause depolarization followed by muscle contraction. We know how the nerve impulse transmits, right? There will be exchange of ions, sodium ions and potassium ions, right? And depolarization will occur when we give a stimulation to the nerve, right? So it will be sufficiently long to stimulate the nerve and the cause depolarization followed by muscle contraction. So after the depolarization, the muscle will contract. So the nervous tissue demonstrates the phenomena of accommodation, by which the threshold of stimulation increases as the stimulus develops. Phenomena of accommodation. The nerves accommodate according to the stimulation or impulses. Basically, accommodation is the property of a tissue to adapt itself to slowly increasing stimulation intensities. Means when we stimulate the nerve or muscle slowly or gradually, धीरे धीरे आप इंटेंसिटी को बढ़ाएंगे, nerves will try to accommodate according to the impulses. Right? So this is accommodation. Adopt करना. Right? So if the ratio of the stimulus is slow, as in triangular or sawtooth pulses, it will fail to overtake the increasing threshold and excitation does not take place. So a slow rising pulse with the same intensity as a sharply rising long duration pulse will fail to excite a nerve. Right? So there should be a variation in impulses to stimulate nerves or muscles to prevent accommodation. Clear? Next thing is stimulation of muscle fibers. So like nerve fibers, the muscle is bounded by a cell membrane which has a potential difference of 70 millivolt. So it has a highly specialized neuromuscular junction where the nerve enters the muscle. So neuromuscular junction is a point where the nerve inserts in the muscle. So it is possible to excite the muscle directly and produce depolarization of the muscle membrane, causing excitation of the muscle using pulses of varying duration. So we can produce contraction in the muscle by giving impulses to the neuromuscular junction, or we can directly stimulate the muscle belly, right? But when we give a stimulation to the neuromuscular junction, we can get the maximum contraction with the minimum intensity, right? And that is known as motor point. So motor point is a neuromuscular junction point, right? Where we get the maximum contraction in the muscle by minimum intensity stimulation. So muscle has a much smaller accommodation property and thus will respond better to slow rising long duration pulses, right? The muscles may, in comparison to the nerve fibers, it has a smaller accommodation property. बहुत जल्दी accommodate नहीं होते. So they respond to slow rising long duration impulses, right? So this is particularly seen in innervated muscles where a good response is obtained from a slow rising triangular pulses with a duration of 1000 milliseconds. So it is difficult to obtain a contraction with shorter rectangular pulses if the muscle is innervated, right? So this is the physiological basis of electrodiagnosis. We can stimulate the nerve fibers, we can stimulate the muscles directly, right? Next point is the electrical properties of the nerve and the muscle. All these comes in electrodiagnosis. So electrical properties of the nerve and the muscle must be considered in electrodiagnosis, right? So electrical excitability is characterized by the three factors. One is intensity of current, right? Second one is duration of current flow. And third one is the speed at which peak intensity is released. So electrical excitability depends on intensity of current. When we increase the intensity, excitability will increase. When we decrease the intensity, excitability will be decreased, right? Second is on the basis of duration. Electrical excitability is based on duration of current flow. If the current flows for shorter duration, excitability will be less. Right? When we increase the duration, excitability will increase accordingly. Third point is the electrical excitability is based on the speed at which the peak intensity is reached. Right? So excitability depends on intensity, duration, and the speed at which the peak intensity is reached. So in case of partial or complete degeneration, electrical excitability is altered. Right? So when we stimulate the innervated muscles, response will differ. Right? When we stimulate the innervated muscles, we can see different response. And when we stimulate the partially innervated or partially denervated muscles, we can see different response. Right? Next important term is refractory period. Refractory period. So refractory period, what is refractory period? Refractory period is the time in which the tissue is excited by means of a stimulus and does not respond to the second stimulus. Right? It means refractory period is the time in which tissue is excited by the means of a stimulus. आपने जो स्टिमुलस दिया उसमें मसल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करेंगे, मसल्स का रिस्पॉन्स आएगा, टिश्यूज का रिस्पॉन्स आएगा, टिश्यूज विल बी एक्साइटेड, राइट, एंड डज नॉट रिस्पॉन्ड टू द सेकेंड स्टिमुलस. इनके बीच का जो टाइम पीरियड है दैट इज रिफ्रैक्टरी पीरियड. Right? For example, in denervated muscles, the refractory period is longer. Clear? Denervated muscles में refractory period जो होगा, that will be longer. Next one is accommodation. As we know, accommodation is the property of tissue to adapt itself to slowly increasing stimulation intensities. So if a muscle is denervated, it has lost most of its power of accommodation, and only those pulses with a long duration and slow rise in peak intensity will be able to produce a brisk contraction, as in case of intermittent galvanic stimulation. Right? Basically, in denervated muscles, we use intermittent galvanic current. Clear? So we can get a brisk contraction when we use a pulses with a long duration and a slow rise in peak intensity. Next term is action potential. What is action potential? Action potential is the ability of nerve and the muscle membrane to develop transient changes in the potential which can be transmitted from one point to another point, and which confers upon nerve and the muscle the special property of excitability. Right? So the propagated change of membrane potential is action potential or impulse. So in nerve impulse transmission or nerve impulse propagation, we get action potential. right? Next term is RD. RD means reaction of degeneration. So reaction of degeneration describes the failure of muscle to contract when stimulated by titanyzing current, right? So the titanyzing current may be an interrupted current or a rapid sinusoidal current. So it is generally of 1 millisecond pulse duration and the muscle is stimulated through its motor point. So in phatic stimulation, we use the impulse duration below 1 millisecond, right? And in galvanic stimulation, we can use more than 1 millisecond impulse duration. So a bipolar technique could be used for testing purpose also. So the presence of RD means the muscle is denervated, right? Reaction of degeneration. If it is present, it means the muscle is denervated. This nerve is completely damaged. The absence of RD means that the muscle is normally innervated, right? So presence of reaction of degeneration, it means the muscle is denervated. Clear? Next term is partial reaction of degeneration. That is known as PRD in short. Partial reaction of degeneration. So if trauma, disease or other factors have produced a partial lesion of the motor unit, there will be an obvious diminution in the contractile responses when a titanyzing current is applied to a such muscle. So this response is called partial reaction of degeneration. Right? So if trauma or disease, तो कहीं पर आपको इंजरी हुआ है पेशेंट्स को, कहीं पर डिजीज है, राइट, और अदर फैक्टर्स produces a partial lesion of motor unit, right? There will be an obvious diminution of contractile response. It means the muscle response will be diminished, right? When a titanyzing current is applied to such a muscle. In this, we see a diminished response of the muscle. And this is called partial reaction of degeneration, right? So if with the progress of the time, PRD is less apparent, then prognosis is good, right? So it is termed as partial denervation, which means some of the muscle fibers have conducting nerves, right? In partial denervation, जिसमें कि आपके कुछ मसल फाइबर्स हैं जो कम्प्लीटली डिनर्वेट नहीं हुए हैं, उनमें आपके कुछ conducting nerve fibers present, right? So partial denervation means some of the muscle fibers have conducting nerve fibers, right? They will respond, right, to the stimulus. Next term is complete reaction of degeneration. That is CRD, complete reaction of degeneration. So if the lesion totally obstruct the activity of the motor unit, there will be no response when a titanyzing current is applied to the affected muscles. This comes in complete reaction of degeneration. Means there is complete lesion, right? आपके nerves जो है, patients के nerves completely damaged हो गए. They obstruct the activity of motor unit. What is the activity of motor unit? What is the function of motor unit? It transmits the impulses, right? In this case, all these will be blocked. So there will be no response when actinizing current is applied to the affected muscles, right? So depending on the extent of lesion, the muscle will respond to the long duration rectangular pulses or slow rising sawtooth or triangular pulses. So if the denervation is more profound, pulses of 1000 millisecond with a trapezoidal or sawtooth shape will be most effective, right? So if there is denervation, we generally use trapezoidal type or sawtooth type of intermittent galvanic stimulation. And this is termed as complete denervation. Right? So in complete denervation, we use galvanic stimulation, especially trapezoidal type or sawtooth type of electrical stimulation. Right? Another term is absolute reaction of degeneration. That is ARD, absolute reaction of degeneration. So when denervation with marked degeneration has been present for a year, muscle atrophy with replacement of muscle fibers by the fatty tissues takes place, and the fiber will be atrophied, and there will be no response to any electrical stimulus, right? There will be no response to any electrical stimulus. This is absolute reaction of degeneration. It means in absolute reaction of degeneration, ARD, denervation with marked degeneration has been present for a year, right? There will be muscle atrophy, and the muscle fibers are replaced by the fatty tissues, fatty fibrous tissues, right? And there will be no response to any electrical stimulus. That's why it is an absolute reaction of degeneration. We cannot get any muscle contraction to any electrical stimulus. That's why it is an absolute reaction of degeneration. Right? Occasionally, denervated muscles that have been exposed to the cold and poorly nourished may within a year from onset show no response to the electrical stimulation. In such a case, it is necessary to assess the extent of damage with an EMG. EMG means electromyography report. And bear in mind the history of the lesion. So here the lack of response is due to high resistance from the skin and the superficial tissues and the poor nourishment. So do not misguide the condition. So these are the terms related to the electrodiagnosis. Refractory period, accommodation, action potential, reaction of degeneration, partial reaction of degeneration, complete reaction of degeneration, and absolute reaction of degeneration. Right? Now we have to discuss SD curve. So after 10 minutes, we will discuss SD curve. So now we have 10 minutes break. Right? So after 10 minutes, I will send a link to everyone on WhatsApp. Right? Yeah. So any doubt in this? Any doubt? If you want to ask anything. So after 10 minutes, we will discuss SD card.